Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Colonizing Duna. I'm sorry I haven't really uploaded that many KSP videos this week. I've been pretty busy with work and I've only had time really to play a little bit of KSP and EVE Online. I had time to upload like a 3-minute video of EVE yesterday or the day before. It's really not that great. Trying to get back into a video making frame of mind because I get back and really tired and kind of just want to sleep. So here are rovers. The two first one with a couple of module, the one with just the two fuel tanks already on the surface, wrapped up and docked together. All we're missing is the hitchhiker one with the refueling arm that comes from Infernal Robotics. I did try to install better planets in the better atmosphere mod, but for some reason it's installed right now, but there was a file, I had to choose a resolution for the city lights or something and put it in the appropriate folder, but I couldn't get it in there, and for some reason it's not working at all. So I'm just gonna still try and work on it. I did boost terrain, scatter, enable it, and boost the graphics up, so the planet should look a little better. Originally for this rover, I wanted to use the same exact rocket that I used for the previous one, but then I thought one nuclear engine and these quarter-size tanks don't really add that much delta V. I mean, it could probably work with just the orange tank in the middle, two side tanks like this with two engines. But I was doing it with 6 originally, so I'm gonna try with 4. If it's working with 4, next one will be with 2. I'll keep trying until I can reduce the size of the rockets. It's not really vital right now, but with the next expansion, if money starts to be an issue, I'll definitely have problems because my rockets are always monstrous. They're just ridiculously huge. Eventually I'll get it right. Eventually. Like, I'm still trying to find out what is actually causing this rotation on the gravity turn. Could it be the rover base? The girders just make it rotate. Originally I thought it would be the 6 times symmetry around the upper stage, but now it's 4 and it'll still rotate, so I don't know. Now my guess is some liquid boosters below must not be aligned properly. It's my only, or maybe the fuel distribution, the fuel lines are fucked up at some point. I don't know, but something is wrong. It shouldn't rotate that bad. Anyway, so once this rover makes it to the surface, I'm gonna have to seriously start thinking about the base that I want on the ground. I've designed a some sort of weird control tower made out of the girders. It's to scope out a nice landing strip for space planes on Duna as well, where I can park the rovers there and start building the base around there. But that control tower itself, since it's just made out of the girders, I still have to add the parachutes on them and find a way to actually get it to Duna, because this will probably be way too powerful because girders are not really too heavy weight-wise, so it'd be easy to push it there, but there's really a small chance of me actually making it with that tower right where I want it on the first time, so I might have to add wheels, but I don't have the right ones unlocked yet, so blah 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 blah. I need more science, as always in career mode. I always need more science. So here, we're getting ready for launch. I was gonna say, yeah, who are we sending to Duna, but it's actually unmanned. There's no one in the hitchhiker module. There's just the probe on top controlling the whole thing. We're launching for space, 2 times speed, as usual. So we can still not take forever, especially since my frame rate is pretty bad. This is close to real speed once boosting the speed up to twice, because I think I was about 14 frame rate, frame per second when I launched this originally, so it's 28 frames now. It's about what it should be. Anyway, going back to that control tower I was talking about, I'm probably gonna need the heavy rover wheels and just airdrop close to where I want it and then move it on the ground. It's probably the easiest way to do it, because I'm afraid that if I don't make it mobile, I might just end up with it where I don't need it. There's a good chance of that happening. Like when I look at my rovers, like the first one landed, of course, not really near the equator, probably like 200 clicks from it. The second one landed 50 kilometers to the northeast of it. No, it was 49 kilometers to the northeast of it. And if I remember, this one will be like 35 kilometer something from the two. So I'm having issues really landing close to the same spot on multiple occasions. So yeah, I'm gonna have to make everything for that base roverable, movable, however you want to call it, so I can land it and then still move it. Which means even more weight, but oh well. It's gonna be funky to design. I have no clue what the main base is gonna look like. It's probably gonna be made of multiple small modules. I know I have a fair idea of what I want for modules. I was explaining in the previous episode, like a refueling ground station, so I can refuel the roving rover. The roving rover. The refueling rover. So if I have a lander stranded somewhere or anything stranded somewhere, I can just park the rover, refuel the rover, head with the rover to wherever I need, and so on. It might be painful, but it's doable. So it's a real base. I need that control tower. I need some sort of lighting for a landing strip, and a science facility module. That's probably going to be the biggest thing, and then an habitation module. So it's at least like 6, 7, what, 8 more missions. It's really hard to know, because there's no real end to it. I mean, you colonize it, you can send stuff all day long. So here we saw the crazy rotation that a rocket always get. You've seen it in the 3 previous episodes. The thing just keeps rotating. It is annoying. I'll eventually, it's probably the last mission where I end up using it, because for the other ones I'm gonna have to no, I'm still gonna use it for the space taxi, but then after that, that's it, and I'll redesign it from scratch and see what's up, because it shouldn't rotate that bad. This is not the best orbit too I could get, but with this thing rotating like that, I'm happy. I'm at 80 something kilometers to get an orbit, because that thing is just a pain in the ass to fly. I'm getting used to that rotation though. You just really have to go up, just get into that rotating frame of mind. At the end of it, you're just glad when it stops though. It might actually be just too much SAS doing that. I'll just have to put some RCS on there when I lift off. I don't know. More testing. That's what we managed to get into orbit. Ready to push towards Duna. I don't remember if, oh yeah, Duna's not positioned right, so I'm gonna have to wait again. Knowing me, I probably won't wait, because I recorded this 4 days ago. I don't exactly know exactly what I did, but I probably just burned for it like Rambo would, and which is not the best thing to do. I admit it. But this thing's got so much fuel that going to Duna almost looks like a waste. They can reuse all these rockets to go to Eve and probably beyond. Because once the nuclear stage kicks in, you can go really, really far away. Here we are, about to get in orbit around the sun. Still plenty of fuel. We haven't even touched the upper stage yet. So here we are in orbit around the sun. Let's see how many orbits we're gonna have to do before we get the right encounter. That's the problem though, since I might have to launch all my mission at once, have them in orbit around Kerbal, and then just launch them all to Duna, because right now the problem is each time I launch one ship, then fly that ship to Duna, and then of course when I want to launch the second one, well, Duna's not in the right position because I had to do several orbit around the sun again. So it's not the most efficient way. Like, I'm already, what, 9 years into it? If not more, I don't even know now, to this career mode. And it sucks because in 6 months I made it to the Mun 7 times into mid-miss, and now it's been like 9 years and I made it to Duna like 2 times with the rovers and 1 time around it with the station. I'm lying, I made it before with a test lander before I even started this series. But that never got shot on camera because let's just say that the Kerbal never made it back. But since it was Jebediah, he just miraculously showed back up at KSP. Poor Jeb. The world will never have to know that you died on Duna. That's why when I land on the surface, I don't actually get signs from the crew report and the EVA because it's the only thing I said back before I terminated his mission. Poor Jeb. But oh well. We're about in position. I think I should start burning for it now. What? Soon. At least try and find an encounter. Remember, I played with it a lot because... where is it? Because I was trying to get one near my... Oh, there we go. Stop. You got it. Don't move. Probably not the most efficient way to get it, but... I remember the other one I got it... I departed way earlier. And I ended up burning like for 6 or 7 minutes trying to get an encounter, then had like 3,000 meters per second to kill upon arriving at Duna to get it captured in its orbit. Here I think it got easier. I think I only had a couple hundred meters to kill. Or was it 800 as usual? I don't even remember. We'll see when I get there. Now all we have to do is we just wait until we get that encounter with Duna. The time warp of doom. Oh wait, no, we still have to burn actually, yeah. I haven't burned it yet, we just have the node. There's still plenty of ways for me to fuck this up, like just burning after the node. Because I could miss the node. It's not like it's never happened to me before. But oh well, these distances, it doesn't really matter. And each time I jettison or decouple the last liquid boosters, they collide with the main engine in the middle because it's too wide. I should have put some separatrons to prevent that, but it's not really causing damage. It's causing damage to the actual boosters that are decoupled, so I don't really care about them. I'm guessing maybe if I keep doing that at some point something else might break off and it might not be good because explosions are bad, okay? Here we go. Almost have our encounter. And come on, encounter. Yeah, there it is. While this maneuvering is taking place, keep on exploring the ideas. So here's our space station. I really want have some sort of lander at that space station that would be capable of flying the Ike, landing and coming back to that station. I haven't designed it yet. It's probably for episode like, I don't know, 20 at this point. There's so many things planned for this Duna series. It's becoming a little overwhelming because I'm having lists of things I have to do and in what order. It's just, well, because once these rovers are assembled all on the ground, I'll have to land our lander, then our base, but the base itself will probably include at least 6, 7, if not 8 episodes, depending on the amount of stuff I want to bring there and how easy I can get my encounters here and there, because the main issue I'm having, I explained before, is just landing at the same spot repeatedly. So if I have to make 40-kilometer drives on the ground with unstable modules, it'll be a pain in the ass. Well, we'll see what I can do, but but there's also at some point I would like to bring on the ground some sort of crane, like a how can I describe that thing? It would be a rover, so it's movable, but with a huge robotic arm with a docking port at the end. So every module I can send there will just have to have a docking port, and that thing can actually lift it up and either transport it or do other things with it. So yeah, that might be a way also to move modules if I don't want to add wheels on all the modules and have that assembling crane on there. I'll have to see what I can do. It's still one big blur at the moment. I know what the individual modules will look like. I still have to see if they're launchable in one piece, because they're pretty massive, and also have to do the well, it's not actually do, it's just send those rovers once assembled to scope out a nice landing site for the base, because it's got to be flat, because I want to be able to land a space plane there with a control tower and everything. And I have to see what Duna looks like now with terrain scatter on, so we'll see once I land. About to get in our orbit. That's a nice orbit too, because definitely the rover will pass below us at one point. We'll just have to wait for the right encounter. It would be a shitty orbit if the plan was to get to our station again, but hopefully that wasn't the plan. So we're good for now. Where is the rover? Yeah, it's not too far out. The base plane itself hasn't been tested yet or even built. I'll have to try and make one on Kerbal and test it out. I haven't played a lot with planes yet, so we'll see what I can come up with. The smaller the better, and I'll probably have to bring two at least. Maybe leave one at the station and just land one. Just have those for transport issues, because at one transport purposes. Because at one point I would love to have maybe two bases, and those can then move Kerbals from one base to the other on Duna, rather than having to rove around for ages. It'd be probably way quicker. That just means that each base will have to be capable of refueling. It won't be a big issue. I mean, I already have the parts. It's just a matter of sending them. I'll think in the end I will stop recording the actual flight to Duna, because it's what's taken most of the time there, and it's always the same stuff pretty much, and not anything that's getting new from this, except I tend to get more efficient orbits. At least I'm arriving to Duna with more fuel. Like the last launch, it was a disaster pretty much. I arrived with a quarter fuel left. Here, if you can see, like, with those 4 engines, it's even more efficient. So probably next one I'll even just try it with 2 plus the main one in the middle, because it's just too much. I mean, I'm just adding weight instead of adding thrust in the end. So I'll just go for it. And here, each time I keep fucking this up too. I'm getting a rough idea of how high the periapse needs to be to catch a decent air brake, because I end up getting too high again before I can deploy my parachutes. So that's a little issue. I'll probably have to aim for 15 km above, 10, 15 instead of going for 0 to 5. But lesson learned. This game is just so awesome, but the way I play it's trial and error, and this game doesn't really forgive trial and error. I mean, it does. You can just retry it, but it takes so long. It takes ages. But somehow I get more fun when I crash my rockets than when I successfully achieve something. When I finished the asteroid research station completely, like with the last module I wanted and everything, it was like, oh, okay. I kind of got forced to say, woo! I did it, because it was just so painful to accomplish it that it was just, well, I hope it works, so I'll jump out the window sort of thing. But it worked. It's just crazy how long things take. Or if you're just trying to dock something and having a hard time figuring out on which axis the thing is just on, because the probe might not be aligned right. The fun of KSP sometimes. Oh well, we got I'm trying to get on a retrograde so we can catch the air brake, and there's a problem. We catch the air brake too early because our apoapse was too high, not high enough actually, and here we go. Problem. So I end up trying to burn at some point, I think, to correct it, but problem with nuclear engines and the weight of this thing, especially with last time when I arrived, like I said, I had only a quarter of the fuel left. Here I'm almost full, so it's really heavy. Those poor nuclear engines can't do shit for me, and if I remember, I even end up burning the central one I'll just end up exploding because I'm trying to keep the periapts above the rover, but it doesn't want to. No, I'm trying though. I'm trying. Bad air brake. Last time I overestimated it. No, I underestimated it. I'll eventually just get it right. I went through both extremes. At least now I know how to get there. Well, we'll see with the next one. I guess if I know how to get there, because the lander will have to land not too far from those rovers once assembled. Well, I'll have to drive the rovers to the equator somewhere, but the landers will have to. The lander will have to land not too far, and we'll see there if I manage it. I hope. Because my record so far is 37 kilometers. If I can get some after, because this one will land at 37 something kilometers. So if I manage to land the lander closer than 37 kilometers, I'll be happy. It just means it's just getting better every time. But until then, we still got time. There you go. Oh, this might be too high. Yep, and this is where I overdid it. Should have stopped earlier. Here's a rover. They're in position. Next episode will pretty much be about redesigning the space taxi, the thing that goes on top of the lander and it's supposed to push it from Kerbal to Duna and be completely reusable. And really downsize it a lot because it's just stupidly way too big for what it's supposed to push. The lander itself weighs what, like maybe at most 2 times what these rovers weigh, but the pusher itself is like 1, 2, 3, 6 times bigger. You get 6 times more engines, so it's completely inefficient for what it's supposed to do. Trying to compensate for the earlier fuck up, and I was trying to compensate for the earlier again fuck ups, so I compensate for all the fuck ups. Could have gotten so closer to that too. There's probably those parachutes you can't reach. Oh yeah, in this rover I didn't set the parachutes to 2,500 meters in the VAB, so I'm trying to quickly do it manually before having to open them. And as you see, we're already closing into the ground, and I deployed them in the end, and they're not all at 2,500. I was afraid that the thing will just tear apart, really, because I'm still trying really quickly to do them. But there we go. Whoa. It was still enough. I had time to manually open them all up, but it was really a race against time. When I would hit eventually 500, they would all deploy, but this is just trying to at least get this thing stable as it's getting close to the ground, so the girders can act as some sort of what do you say, air shield? I don't know, air brake. Given the air a bigger surface to catch on, but eventually I get them all open. So it was a fairly successful flight. A couple fuck ups here and there as usual, because after all I'm still the pilot. And the only thing you'll see when also the suspension problem, but upon touching the ground, that the one of the wheels might be broken, so I'll have to drive the actual 2 rover train to here instead of driving this one to the other ones. That means I have to drive it slower because well, it's not as stable with 2 rovers than it is with just one. If you check the last episode where I was driving it on the surface, I did crash a lot upon trying to meet up. So we are. Most of our parachutes are opened up. cool little robotic arm on the side. Problem 2 is we're coming on the side of a hill, so it won't be a very flat touchdown. I've had better landing, but at least with this, it's the last rover landing, so we can start focusing on the lander, the space taxi, the actual Duna base, which is quite important, and then pimping out our station and the Ike lander. And touchdown. And here's the other problem. That's where the wheel broke off. And here the SAS that kept the ship that way. Had to disable it because that was just dumb. And retracting the struts. And we are slowly and full touchdown with a broken wheel. It is still drivable, but if you watched the last episode, I did crash instead of stopping. I didn't really lose vital parts except struts and stuff, but if I can prevent it and just bring the other one here, it'll be better, because this one is to start with not stable because it's really top heavy, and if I don't have it that way, I'll just end up crashing somewhere and it'll be really bad. Let's just brake before I do something horrible. Fred in the past, please brake. Thank you. Thank you from Fred in the present, since that was recorded a couple of days ago. But thanks guys for watching. See you next episode.